Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. This is Tuesday, March 5th. Hope you're having a good morning. We are here to look at the new releases being set into the wild each and every day, a different genre every day. And being Tuesday, we look at the mysteries and thrillers that are being released this week. Let's do a quick check-in. Kim says, good morning. Mary, hi Kim. Hope you're doing well today. Let's see, announcements. Tuesday, we do have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. We will, if traffic goes in my favor after work, it could start a little bit earlier than 6:05, so make sure you have the notification bell on if you want to get here in the beginning. Our next sprints are on Thursday evening, same time, and then again on Saturday afternoon. Those are our times each and every week. Kim says, thank you. You too. Mary says, good morning, Kim. Happy Tuesday. Off to volunteer at the library today for a couple of hours in the Friends of the Library sale. Oh my. And if you happen to have some follow you home, that is just a good bonus. That will be nice. All righty. So we are looking at mysteries and thrillers today, this morning. Let's jump in. Let's see, where do we want to jump in first? We'll jump in first here. This is the big one. But I'm going to close tabs as I don't need them anymore. All right. Tana French has a new one. This is called The Hunter. It's a blazing summer when two men arrive in a small village in the west of Ireland. One of them is coming home. Both of them are coming to get rich. One of them is coming to die. Cal Hooper took early retirement from Chicago PD and moved to rural Ireland looking for peace. He's found it, more or less. He's built a relationship with a local woman, Lena, and he's gradually turning Trey ready from a half-barreled teenager into a good kid going good places. But then Trey's long-absent father reappears, bringing along an English millionaire and a scheme to find gold in the townland, and suddenly everything the three of them have been building is under threat. Cal and Lena are both ready to do whatever it takes to protect Trey, but Trey doesn't want protecting. What she wants is revenge. I will be hopping tonight. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, I usually like Tana French. Yes, a very good writer. Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. We'll say Tintera. What if you thought you murdered your best friend, and if everyone else thought so too? And what if the truth doesn't matter? After Lucy is found wandering the streets, covered in her best friend Savvy's blood, everyone thinks she is a murderer. Lucy and Savvy were the golden girls of their small Texas town, pretty, smart, and enviable. Lucy married a dream guy with a big ring and an even bigger new home. Savvy was the social butterfly loved by all, and if you believe the rumors, especially popular with the men in town. It's been years since that horrible night, a night Lucy can't remember anything about, and she has since moved to LA and started a new life. But now the phenomenally huge hit true crime podcast, Listen for the Lie, and its too good looking host, Ben Owens, have decided to investigate Savvy's murder for the show's second season. Lucy is forced to return to the place she vowed never to set foot in again to solve her best friend's murder, even if she is the one that did it. The truth is out there if we just listen. There's a lot of the podcast framework in mystery thrillers in the last couple years. Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice by L. Cosimano. Fourth in the Finley Donovan series, very popular. That sounds interesting. Finley Donovan and her nanny partner in crime, Vero, are in sore need of a girls' weekend away. They plan a trip to Atlantic City, but odds are, seeing as it's actually a cover story to negotiate a deal with a dangerous loan shark, save Vero's childhood crush Javi, and hunt down a stolen car, it won't be all fun and games. When Finley's ex-husband Stephen and her mother insist on tagging along too, Finley and Vero suddenly have a few too many meddlesome passengers along for the ride. Within hours of arriving in their seedy casino hotel, it becomes clear their rescue mission is going to be a bust. Javi's kidnapper Marco refuses to negotiate, demanding payment in full in exchange for Javi's life. But that's not all. He insists on knowing the whereabouts of his missing nephew, Ike, who mysteriously disappeared. Unable to confess what really happened to Ike, Finley and Vero are forced to come up with a new plan. Sleuth out the location of Javi and the Aston Martin, then steal them both back. When they sneak into the loan shark suite to search for clues, they find more than they bargained for. Marco's already dead. They don't have a clue who murdered him, only that they themselves have a very convincing motive. The four members of the police department unexpectedly show up in town, also looking for Ike, and after Finley's night with hot cop Nick at the police academy, he's a little too eager to keep her close to his side. If Finley can juggle a jealous ex-husband, two precocious kids, her mother's marital issues, and a decomposing loan shark, and find Vero's missing boyfriend, she might get out of Atlantic City in one piece. But will she fold under the pressure and come clean about the things she's done, or be forced to double down? The second one we did, yeah. I'm funny, I want cozy mysteries, but I love Anne Rule books. That's okay. Sometimes you're in the mood for Criminal Minds, and sometimes you're in the mood for Murder, She Wrote. It's okay. Murder at Lavalette, an Amy LaDuke investigation by Kara Black. This is 21st in series. Good for her. Parisian private investigator Amy LaDuke has been framed for the murder of her daughter's father. Now she's on the lam and must find the real killer to clear her name in this thrilling blah blah blah. Parisian private investigator Aimee LaDuke doesn't know that her life is about to be upended. Her ex, Malak, has been hounding her to move their daughter, Chloe, to Brittany. She's fed up with his threats to take her to court and has stopped answering his calls, which is why she doesn't know he's waiting for her by the Bassin de la Villette as she leaves a client's office late one night. When she finds him there, bleeding in the canal, he has just been stabbed by an assailant who knocks her unconscious and plants the bloody knife in her hands. Now she is in police custody, debilitated by concussion, with overwhelming evidence pointing to her as Malak's killer. She must figure out who murdered Malak, not an easy job given the target on his back as a former homicide investigator. Cut off from her typical network and forced to operate under multiple layers of cover, she must go deep into the underbelly of Paris's 19th arrondissement, where she rubs shoulders with biker gangs, paranoid journalists, grieving parents, and frustratingly tight-lipped ex-cops on her hunt for justice. Kara Black is usually a good author as well. We have some goodies this morning. Yeah, I was noticing that when I was prepping, meaning I just make sure of dates if I have time and bring up the tabs. It's like we've got some big hitters. Here's another big hitter. Actually, there's a couple more really big hitters that I can think of. Lisa Unger, The New Couple in 5B. A couple inherits an apartment with a spine-tingling past. Rosie and Chad Lowen are barely making ends meet in New York City when they receive life-changing news. Chad's late uncle has left them his luxury apartment at the historic Windermere in glamorous Murray Hill. With its pre-war elegance and impeccably uniformed doorman, the building is the epitome of old New York charm. One would almost never suspect the dark history lurking behind its perfectly maintained facade. Excuse me. At first, the building and its eclectic tenants couldn't feel more welcoming. But as the Lowens settle into their new home, Rosie starts to suspect that there's more to the Windermere than meets the eye. Why is the doorman ever present? Why are there cameras everywhere? And why have so many gruesome crimes occurred there throughout the years? When one of the neighbors turns up dead, Rosie must get to the truth about the Windermere before she too falls under its dangerous spell. And another big name, Simone St. James. Murder Road. I kind of prefer Simone St. James' early works, but good for her. Good for her for starting to hit it. July 9th, a young couple finds themselves haunted by a string of gruesome murders committed along an old deserted road. July 1995. April and Eddie have taken a wrong turn. They're looking for the small resort town where they plan to spend their honeymoon. When they spot what appears to be a lone hitchhiker along the deserted road, don't do it. They stop to help. But not long after the hitchhiker gets into their car, they see the blood seeping from her jacket and a truck barreling down Atticus Line after them. When the hitchhiker dies at the local hospital, April and Eddie find themselves in the crosshairs of the Cold Lake Falls police. Unexplained murders have been happening along Atticus Line for years, and the cops finally have two witnesses who easily become their only suspects. As April and Eddie start to dig into the history of the town and that horrible stretch of road to clear their names, they soon learn that there is something supernatural at work. No kidding. That something that could not only tear the town and its dark secrets apart, but take April and Eddie down with it all. Simone St. James always has a little touch of paranormal. Just a little touch. A Deadly Endeavor by Jenny Adams. This is first in Deadly 20s Mystery Potential series. First book, and she gets a hardcover. Good for her. A serial killer is on the loose in Jazz Age Philadelphia in this debut historical mystery. Perfect for fans of Deanna Rayburn and Reese Bowen. We shall see. Philadelphia, 1921. When Edie Shippen returns home after spending years in California recovering from influenza, she's shocked to discover that her childhood sweetheart is engaged to her twin sister. Heartbroken and adrift, Edie vows to begin living her life as a modern woman, and to hell with anyone who gets in her way. But as young women start to disappear from the city, her newfound independence begins to feel dangerous. Gilbert Lawless returned home from the Great War a shell of his former self. He hides away in the office of Philadelphia's coroner, content to keep to himself until a gruesome series of corpses come into the morgue. And when his sister Lizzie goes missing, he risks his career to beg help from the one person Lizzie seemed to trust, her employer, Edie Shippen. Fearing the worst, Edie and Gilbert desperately search for clues. It soon becomes clear that Lizzie's disappearance is connected to the deaths rocking the city of brotherly love, and it's only a matter of time until the killer strikes again. I love historicals. I love the time period. I just have a problem with ones that are set in the US. So somebody read this and let me know. Another big one, Laura Child. This is the week. And I need some coffee, just now. All right, this is 27th in the Tea Shop Mystery Series, Murder in the Tea Leaves. Kind of generic. Usually she has a specific tea. It's lights, action, murder as tea maven Theodosia Browning scrambles for clues. When Theodosia Browning reads the tea leaves, on the set of the movie Dark Fortunes, things go from spooky to worse. Lights are dimmed, the camera rolls, and red-hot sparks fly as the film's director is murdered in a tricky electrical accident. Or was it an accident? Though the cast and crew are stunned beyond belief, nobody admits to seeing a thing. And when Theodosia's friend Delane becomes the prime suspect, Theodosia begins her own shadow investigation. I have a friend, Delane, from grade school. But who among this Hollywood cast and crew had murder on their mind? The screenwriter is a self-centered pothead, the leading actress is trying to wiggle out of her contract, the brand new director seems indifferent, and nobody trusts the slippery when dry Hollywood agent. Between hosting a breakfast at Tiffany's Tea, a poetry tea, and trying to launch her own chocolate line, Theodosia doggedly hunts down clues and explores the seemingly haunted Brittlebank Manor where the murder took place. And just when she's ready to pounce, a Charleston Film Board member is also murdered, throwing everything into total disarray. But this clever killer will go to any lengths to hide his misdeeds, as Theodosia soon finds out when she and her tea sommelier, Drayton, get caught up in a dangerous stakeout. Includes delicious recipes and tea time tips. This is beginning to look like a grand slam for sure with all these famous. I know. More Child is Cozy. Love these books. I know with so many, planned for this week, if you read a lot of these authors, you could hopefully hit your library hard. Struck Dead by Andrea Kane. That's another name in thrillers. Forensic Instincts, number 10. The fragile line between life and death. Families that will never be the same. When a tragic hit and run takes the life of a hardworking family man, multimillionaire Christopher Hillington becomes the prime suspect, and the whole city of New York alights with speculation as to what happened. But before the NYPD can establish Hillington's guilt, he himself is brutally murdered in his own home. As he lays dying, he scrawls the name Casey Woods with his own blood, and the Forensic Instincts team is drawn into a complex mystery that has placed its president in the sights of a desperate killer. A millionaire's life is full of secrets and suspects. So, as the baffled NYPD investigates Casey for the murder and the body count ratchets up, Casey herself becomes another potential victim. The FI team's hardcore investigation has them twisting and turning through suspects and secrets, where the stakes intensify, and so does the collateral damage. As Casey and the team get closer to finding the killer, the unthinkable happens, and the life of one of FI's own hangs in the blood-stained balance. They say dead men tell no tales, but blood doesn't lie. Peeling back layer after layer of deception, the team will cross whatever lines are necessary to solve the case, get justice for the families, and make their team whole again, unless the relentless killer gets to them first. All right. Bye, Baby by Carola Lovering. This is a March 2024 Indie Next and Library Read pick. Takes an unflinching look at the battling forces of toxicity and love, which define so many female friendships. Every friendship has its shadow. On a brisk fall night in the New York apartment, 35-year-old Billy West hears terrified screams. It's her lifelong best friend, Cassie Barnwell, one floor above, and she's just realized her infant daughter has gone missing. Billy is shaken as she looks down into her own arms to see the baby, remembering with a jolt of fear that she is responsible for the kidnapping that has instantly shattered Cassie's world. That just sounds weird. Once fiercely bonded by their secrets, Cassie and Billy have drifted apart in adulthood, no longer the inseparable pair they used to be in their small Hudson Valley hometown. Cassie is married to a wealthy man, has recently become a mother, and is building a following as a lifestyle influencer. She is desperate to leave her past behind, including Billy, who is single and childless and no longer fits into her world. But Billy knows the worst thing Cassie has ever done, and she will do whatever it takes to restore their friendship. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, that just sounds creepy. Close that one. The Silver Bone, a novel. The Kiev Mysteries, number 1. This is translated, I believe. This is by Andrei Kurkov, from Ukraine's most celebrated novelist. A perplexing mystery that introduces rookie detective Samson Kolechko in Kiev. Kiev, 1919. World War I has ended in Western Europe, but to the east, 6 factions continue to vie for control of Ukraine. Amidst the political turmoil, Young Samson Kolechko is forced to place his engineering career on hold, but in the city of Kiev, everything remains up for grabs and new opportunity lurks just around the corner. When two Red Army soldiers commandeer his home, Samson's life is completely upended. But as Samson juggles his personal life, including a budding romance with the ingenious Nadezhda, a statistician helping run the city's census, with the soldiers' intrusion, he winds up overhearing their secret plans. Deciding to report them, Samson instead finds himself unwittingly recruited as an investigator for the city's new police force. His first case involves two murders, a long bone made of pure silver, and a suit of decidedly unusual proportions tailored from the fine English cloth. The odds stacked against him, Samson turns to Nadezhda, who proves to be more than his match. Inflected with Kirkov's signature humor and off-kilter universe, the Silverbone takes its inspiration from the archives of Kiev's secret police, crafting a propulsive narrative bursting to life with rich historical detail. Translated from the Russian by Boris Drolyuk. Very interesting. Let's do a quick little I think that one. Yeah, maybe. That might be more for sci-fi fantasy when we're desperate for sci-fi fantasy books. Let's check the date on this one. Yep, we're good. Baby X, a thriller by Kira Piekov. When when any biological matter can be used to create life, stolen celebrity DNA sells to the highest bidder or the craziest stalker in this propulsive thriller. Wow. Let's save that one for sci-fi fantasy as well. That's really cool. So we got two options for Thursday. Awesome. Sometimes it's hard to get sci-fi fantasy. We've had such a wealth of good mysteries this week. Holy moly. Hi, Christina. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Well, that is all we have time for. The bell has rung. Thanks so much. Nice to see you all today. Go forth and have a great day. Absolutely. All righty. Well, once again, we do have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. I'll be able to start earlier than that if the traffic goes in my favor. I always try to hop on earlier when possible. So make sure you've got the notification bell dinged, smashed. Thanks for the info. Absolutely. So I hope you have a very good Tuesday. Hope you're reading good books. Mary, have a good time at the Friends of the Library. Um, and I hope to see you tonight. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the romances that are being set into the wild this week. So make sure to take care of yourself. Be kind to others. Have a good day. Thank you for being here. God bless. Oh, don't be a bookworm. Be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. God bless.